Hello and welcome to a new episode of Funder 360 English. Today we are going to discuss about securities lending and borrowing scheme. In this episode we have included what is this SLB and what are its advantages. We can try to understand it in a better way, in a simple way, and how it can be activated, what are the risks associated with this, especially for the lender, and finally the tax obligations. So stay tuned. SLB or securities lending and borrowing, it's a legally approved medium for lending and borrowing securities. Majority of the time, though we call it as security, it's all about stocks. The regulations were originally formed by SEBI in 1997 May and it was modified in 2012 November. So all market participants, including the retail investors in the Indian stock market, are permitted to lend or borrow securities, but only through authorized intermediaries. So NSL, that is NSE Clearing Limited, and BISL, BSE Clearing Corporation, are the only two authorized intermediaries presently. So NCL is preferred and they are getting bulk of the transactions nowadays. To understand the SLB, simple, we shall take an example. Imagine if tomorrow we could lend all the gold jewelry that you have probably sitting idle in your locker or in your shelf or almirah for a daily fee or weekly fee or monthly fee to someone. You will be happy, right? Since you are not selling it, the price appreciation will be a benefit for you. But on the other hand, instead of sitting that idle in your locker or at your home, you are getting some returns out of that in the form of the lending fee or as a rent. So you will be happy, right? Now the question that may be in your mind is, if someone borrows it and if they are not returning back, what will happen? The entire capital, entire gold will be gone, right? In the case of gold, that may be the risk associated. But in the case of securities, SLB mechanism, you need not bother about it, since NCL or BISL gives the guarantee for that in such a way that the borrower will have to give margin money for an appropriate amount. So it will be beneficial for you, right? Now you may have a doubt, who will borrow? Why can't he buy? So the borrower is probably looking for one of these opportunities like arbitrage in stock price between two exchanges, or reverse arbitrage when futures are at a discount to stock to cover the short position. So to avoid settlement failure, mispricing in options and other F&O arbitrage or hedging strategies, which also requires you to have stocks, and this could be borrowed from a lender for a fee using SLB. So bigger HNIs or insurance companies or bigger market players, they only generally borrows the stocks. So let's have a look on a simple example on reverse arbitrage opportunity. For example, let's take Vedanta's stock. Now it's trading nearly 430 rupee. But assume that its future price is 420. So 10 rupee difference. So an arbitrager would use SLB borrow for 1000 shares of Vedanta for a lending fee and sell it in the market at 430 rupee, since that's the spot price. At the same time, he would buy one lot of Vedanta futures at 420, and on expiry day when the price of Tata Motor futures and stock would be the same. So he will sell the futures and buy back the stock and give it to the lender. So potentially without much risk, he is making 10 rupee per share. Now the question is how you can participate in this process. For this, you have to fill a form to your broking house. I am just showing the form for angel broking. So it's a simple form. You can fill it and sign it and give back to your broker along with a net worth certificate, a 6 months bank statement or holding statement. You can scan it and send to the broker also. That will work out. Please keep it in mind one thing, that some of the brokers are not supporting SLB also. But mainstream brokers all are supporting SLB. So after a few days after the submission, your SLB will be activated. Next question is how we can offer the share. Just similar to selling the shares, you can offer the share for lend by quoting a lending price. When the borrower and the lender price matches, that contracts comes into play. Just similar to that of you sell a share. Here the thing is only about the lending fee. The maximum SLB contract period is 12 months. A maximum of 12 months you can lend it. Now the question is, what will happen in between the company declares some dividend or stock split or bonus or whatever it is. In the case of dividend, obviously the dividend will go to the borrower's account, and with T+1 case, the borrower need to transfer that to your account. So that all things will be mandatorily done through the SLB mechanism. But in the case of a stock split and bonus issue, the contracts will be foreclosed, so that you need not bother about it. Now the question is about the lender risk. Generally, we can assume that there is no risk with the lender, but the only possible risk, what you can say, is about when the borrower fail to deliver back the shares to the lender. In that case, what happens? The mechanism acts similar to that of a short delivery. If you sell something, but you couldn't able to deliver, then what happens? Generally, from the auction market, they will purchase. But for a lender, what exactly happens is the entire transaction will be treated like you sell the shares at a market price and bought it back. So once you sold, you are liable to pay either LTCG or STCG. In that case, if you made some profit, that profit will be accounted as an LTCG or STCG instead of just showing the lending fee as an income. The possibility of happening this one is somewhat rare, just in the case of short delivery. Now the question is about the tax obligation. Since there is no buying or selling involved, the lending fee will not be considered as a short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. Instead, that will be added to your other income. For example, if you are a teacher and you are getting 10 lakh rupees per annum, and through lending you got 50,000 rupees, in that case your total income will be 10 lakh 50,000 rupees, and you are liable to pay appropriate applicable taxes for 10.5 lakh rupees. It will not come under LTCG or STCG. So if you have any further queries or doubts, you please contact your broker or sub-broker. They will help you out to carry on the process. The stocks involved in SLB process is only the stocks available there in the futures and options, not all the stocks. So that's all for now. See you in the next episode. Till then, bye from Manu.